Hi, I'm Mary Jo Feely with Fourth Dimension Healing in Stillwater, Minnesota, which is my crystal and energy healing practice. I also offer light language healing sessions as well as mentoring. I'm also the director of the Center for Crystal and Healing Studies, which is my online school. And through my online school, I offer a variety of courses in Reiki, energy healing, and crystal healing, from free mini courses all the way through advanced coursework. You can go ahead and check out the links for all of these services and coursework that I offer in the links below this video. Today, I want to take just a minute to talk with you briefly about the system of elements that I work with and how that interconnects with crystal healing. I work with the elements of earth, fire, water, wind, and storm, which is a system that might be slightly different than what perhaps you may be familiar with. Each of these 5 elements has an archetypal type of energy. And so we're going to start with earth. Earth being very much about security and grounding and belonging and safety. And I want to show you a couple examples of stones that resonate with earth energy, and you can begin to get just a sense that there are very much so different properties and different ways that earth presents. So the first stone I wanted to show you is a piece of hematite or hematite. So this is iron ore, and this is a very heavy stone, and it is very much about grounding. It's very much about getting connected with the earth. So that would be an example of a stone that one could work with if you're feeling a little bit scattered and flighty and you really want to get in your body and connected with the earth realm and be able to experience well-being in your physical body. So that's hematite. And then also another earth stone quite different is jet. Jet is fossilized coal, and it's very, very light. In fact, it does not have any kind of an internal structure. It's amorphic. So we've got this very kind of fluid type of characteristic to this. Yet, jet is very effective in helping to strengthen the energy field, which is really important when it comes to maintaining healthy energetic boundaries. So that's just a little bit about earth. Fire is the next element that I work with, and fire is about creativity and motivation and activation. I should say that that earth element works really strongly with that root chakra. As we move into fire, fire is very much about that second and third chakra. And I want to show you just a couple examples, again, of stones that resonate with fire energy and how they can be so different. Here is a piece of orange calcite. Calcite is very clearing. Calcite, regardless of the type of calcite it is going to have a fiery energy. And it may have other minerals as well that also help it connect and resonate with some of the other elements as well. Orange calcite for sure is one of the really strong cardinal stones when it comes to fire, and can be really wonderful if you are working on clearing and healing those second and third chakras from some of the encumbered patterns and energetic imbalances that you are in the process of healing. Another stone, again, quite different, yet fire, is malachite. Malachite has a lot of copper in it. Malachite is about compassion. It's about empowered leadership. So it's how do we empower ourselves? That's another function of that fire and that third chakra. How do we empower ourselves in a way that is compassionate? This is where malachite would be able to really support that work that you're doing in those second and third chakras, and do it from a place of deep compassion. Okay. The next element is water. When we think of water, it can be very soothing and calming. We all might like to float perhaps on an inner tube or an air mattress in a pool or in a lake. And we can also remember, however, that water can be very turbulent, and that can also invite us into deep transformation as we work on clearing especially our emotional bodies when it comes to working with water. And so I have a couple of water stones here, one of which is Amazonite. Amazonite is a wonderful, soothing, calming type of stone that can help to work that heart chakra, work that throat chakra, and those are typically the two chakras that are going to be aligned with water, that ability to clear out and release. Another example of a water element stone is chrysocolla. Again, connecting with that heart, connecting with that throat, supporting the ability to clear, release, rinse away, so to speak, some of those blocked energies that might be interfering with your ability to live open-heartedly and from a place of kindness, and also clearing out some of those patterns and ways of expressing yourself in a way that's really helpful and healthy. Okay, so that's water. Then we have wind element. Wind is all about this 6th and 7th chakra, the brow and the crown chakra, that bringing in the clarity and the insight, clearing out the clutter in the brain. And one of the stones that I wanted to show you today as a wind element stone is fluorite. This is an example of rainbow fluorite. Fluorite comes in a wide variety of color hues, and it is really a spot-on stone to work with when we are working on clearing and decluttering our mental field and our mind and brain space. Another wind element stone is charoite. Charoite is not only a wind element stone that supports that brow and crown chakra, it also supports the heart chakra. It helps that inspiration drop down into our heart space so that we can act lovingly and speak lovingly and think lovingly and be present. And the final element is storm. Now, storm is not actually an element, rather it is an event that takes place when all the other elements are activated. And so if you've ever been in the middle of a storm, you know you've got lightning, you've got thunder, you've got the earth rattling around, you've got a lot of water, you've got a lot of wind. And after the storm, it's as if there's clearing that's taken place. There's debris all over the place. And if we think about what we do with our own healing, we can think energetically that storm comes in and moves and clears and prepares us to be transformed, and yet holds us in a place of being in, like resting in the eye of that storm. Wanted to show you two stones that are storm element stones. The first of which is a piece of clear quartz or rock crystal. This is a stone, and storm element stones, I would say overall, are going to balance all of the chakras. They're going to work at the very top of the head, helping to draw energy down from those spirit realms. They're going to work at the root chakra, helping to draw up energies from the earth realm. And so they're really wonderful balancing. So that's quartz, would be an example of a storm element stone. And then Shiva Lingam, I wanted to show you an example of Shiva. Shiva Lingam, again, represents the two polarities of heaven and earth, very helpful for balancing those chakras and getting our overall energy field balanced so that we are not over-functioning, not under-functioning, but living rather into a place of present moment. So that's just a real quick little rundown on the 5 elements of earth, fire, water, wind, and storm, the system that I work with, and a little tidbit of how some of those various stones that resonate with these 5 elements can be really helpful. So feel free to reach out to me if you have questions. You can send me a chat through my website. I do have other videos specifically related to these 5 elements, so please take a moment to check those out. I invite you to explore how these elements are presenting in your life and how gemstones and crystals can help support you as you heal body, mind, and spirit. For now, I simply wish you many blessings. Be well.